we talk about pet hates, I'm indebted to Kevin, who called from Gosport. Kevin's a medical student, and he needed us to know that anaphylactic shock is derived from the Greek. Phylactic meaning protection, as in prophylactic, and the prefix a or ana meaning without, means that an anaphylactic shock is what happens when the body comes into contact with, for example, a protein, he said, which poses a threat and it can't protect itself properly against it. Simple as that. So, interesting. Thank you, Kevin, for that. And I guess it means, harking back to a conversation we had 10 minutes ago, that whether or not it's whether it's severe or mild doesn't enter into it if the body is without full protection when it touches something that it doesn't like. Then any reaction to it is anaphylactic. Free call 0500 10 53 89. Pet hates we're talking about. Those things that get under your skin and irritate you. There's a reason for it, which I'll get to in just a second. Well, I'll tell you what it is now. I've just come across, in a natural history magazine from America, a new theory as to why the dinosaurs died out. And it's becoming a pet hate of mine now, amassing new theories as to why the dinosaurs were wiped out. But this one's a beauty. And if you want to talk about that, I don't mind. But it's becoming a pet hate of mine, along with Star Trek, and women who wear fake fur coats. Why wear fake fur? I cannot for the life of me understand that. I'm not endorsing wearing fur coats at all. Although somehow there's something more honest about wearing a fur coat than wearing a fake fur coat. Because in a sense you're still wanting people to admire you because they think that you can afford a fur coat, or because they think that it looks attractive and wonderful, when in actual fact it cost you 70 quid. So that's a pet hate of mine. And I've got loads of pet hates connected, as you have, with motoring. Baby on board is probably the nation's #1 pet hate. What is it supposed to mean when you see baby on board in the back of a car? That you should please stop running it? How are you supposed to drive differently once you know that the car in front has got a sign on the back that says baby on board? I am more likely to have an accident having seen that sign than if I had not seen it, because having seen it, I always look for a baby seat somewhere in the car, rather than pay attention to the road. I don't know why, but I do. I'm sure you do too. And not once have I ever seen a baby on board a car carrying the sign baby on board. Free call 0500 10 53 89. Pet hates. Another pet hate is people who don't know how to go around a roundabout. They've passed their test, they haven't got an L plate on, but as they approach a roundabout and they're going straight across it, they seem to approach the roundabout in the inside lane, then go straight onto the roundabout into the outside lane of the roundabout, which is the inside part of the roundabout, but it's the outside lane on the road, if you follow my drift. And then as soon as they get to the road that they want to exit on, then they immediately just signal and head straight for the inside of that road. So effectively they're zigzagging in and out of lanes, but they don't know that. I thought you actually went round roundabouts when you were learning to drive, and I thought that you actually sometimes had to go round a roundabout on your test. I know it's not part of a test, but it should be. Bad roundabout behaviour, that's another pet hate. But the reason we want to talk about pet hates in this hour is because, as I said, the Americans have come up with a new theory as to why the dinosaurs were wiped out. Now, you know the theories that exist so far, that a meteorite landed on Earth, sent up a cloud of volcanic dust, which blocked out the sun's rays and caused global warming, causing vegetation to die, which meant that the herbivores died, and the carnivores that ate the herbivores also starved to death. That's one theory. Another theory, extraordinarily supported by the Natural History Museum in Britain, is that the dinosaurs became so big, and there were so many of them, that their waste gases changed the climate of planet Earth. Yes, their waste gases from their digestive system produced or contributed to, again, a form of a global warming which changed the climate, which changed the food chain. That's, yes, another theory. There are dozens of theories as to why the dinosaurs died out, but there's the Ice Age. Thank you, Ash, the Ice Age theory. There's everything from aliens to Ice Age. But here's the latest. The dinosaurs became intelligent. So intelligent that they became an advanced civilization. As an advanced civilization, they brought about their own demise, either A, by engaging in global warfare, or B, try this one, but it's a serious theory, they became so advanced that they became so caring that the carnivores decided no longer to eat the herbivores and thus starved. And the herbivores went on to become so caring that they decided not to cause damage to the plants by eating them, and so they chose to starve to death rather than hurt anything else. Don't come at me with it. It's an American theory. but it's a serious theory, and it's being lectured on. Free call 0500 10 53 89. Theories as to why the dinosaurs died out. People who have a favourite episode of Star Trek. Baby on board signs. People who don't know how to go round roundabouts. What's your pet hate? Free call 0500 10 53 89. I'm Tommy Boyd. This is Talk Radio. There's a good argument for listening. Think about which pets you hate most. I don't know about you, but when I was small and got a pet home, I'd be really, really enthused about it for about the first 3 days. And then I'd realise what I'd landed myself with. Free call 0500 10 53 89. Alistair calls from Dumfriesshire. You're on Talk Radio, Alistair. Pet hates.
Pet hates. English people, when they go back to England, want to exchange the Scottish fivers to English fivers because they don't think they would take Scottish fivers south of the border.
Well, they don't.
They do?
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
We go down to Cheltenham every year and they take them there.
But they don't take them everywhere. Because, not everybody who goes back to England, Alistair, goes back to Cheltenham.
No, it doesn't matter.
It does.
Oh, no.
It does. People in England look at Scottish notes as if they're foreign currency.
Yes. That's true. They also look at postage stamps as foreign postage stamps as well.
Well, maybe I don't know about that, but all I'm saying is there's nothing daft about changing Scottish fivers into English fivers when you're going to England. That's not daft.
Well, I don't know. Look at it from a bus driver's point of view. I know a bus driver who was giving the English people 75 pence in the pound going back south.
Yeah?
Well, 75 pence. Taking 25 pence every time he does a transaction. Money for nothing.
Well, that's fair enough, but I don't think you can criticise English people who want their fivers changed into English money when they're going to England.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Oh, right, sorry. I thought
you asked for my pet hate.
Yes, but there is a good argument for listening. Worry about it. Free call 0500 10 53 89. Alan calls from Merseyside. You're on Talk Radio, Alan.
Hello, Tommy.
Alan.
Baby on board stickers.
Hey?
They're not there for you, mate. They're there for emergency services.
I don't think you're right there.
Yeah, so in case if you wrap your car,
yes,
put it in a ditch or anything, then they can look for the little one. If there's one around, that's why you shouldn't have one if you haven't got a baby in.
Oh, give me a break. In that case, then you should surely take the baby on board sign down if you haven't got a baby in the car.
Straight up, mate.
No, Alan, where did you make that up?
I didn't. That's true. Ask anybody.
I will ask anybody. All right, I'll ask Ash. Ash is anybody. Ash, have you ever heard such a load of fiction?
I've never heard such a lot of tosh
fiction
in my life. People, even if it was for that, that's not why people buy them.
No.
They buy them because they can't take people driving too close to them.
No.
Well, they're buying them for the wrong reasons then.
Yeah.
Ask get someone else from the ambulance service or the fire service.
Why should I do that? You go come on and start telling people what to do. You go and get a pound of Spam and make yourself a big sandwich. See, you don't like it, do you?
I might just do that. It's done time, isn't it?
Do you know, I like Spam. I know you shouldn't because it's meant to be sort of, not food, but I love it.
Well, you never know. Somebody might phone up anyway.
Well, we'll see what happens, shall we? Thank you for your call. Free call 0500 10 53 89. John's on the line from Manchester. Pet hates. John, you're on Talk Radio.
Actors and awards ceremonies.
Fantastic.
I can't stick them.
Why?
The Friends present them with awards.
Yeah.
You would think they'd saved the Earth from global destruction.
Well, they're just happy.
For getting an award for doing the job are decent.
Yeah.
And they're only pretending. We did that when we was in the playground at school.
What?
I pretended to be a cowboy and things.
Yes.
That's all they're doing.
But you're not as good at it as Alan Ladd was, for example. Otherwise you'd be out there, wouldn't you?
I'll tell you what, Tom.
Yeah.
I bet if you dragged 100 men in off the street,
yes,
you let them all have a go at doing...
Now, my days of doing that are gone.
Yeah, true. So you let them all have a go at, The Godfather, Marlon Brando.
Yes, yes.
I bet 1 out of them 100 would get critical acclaim.
That's not true, and you know it. Marlon Brando's a superb actor.
He may well be.
Yes.
But it's only because there's very few actually do it. I bet you could drag someone off the street who could give a superb performance.
Well, could you then? All right, look, I'll drag somebody off the street and ask him to do a bit of acting.
Of course I could.
No, all right, then do the... what are you going to do for us? How about the to-be soliloquy from Hamlet?
I don't actually know the words, Tom. I mean, you'd have to read the script, obviously. There are some drawbacks to it.
Yes.
Well, once I'd read the script, for instance, I'm really a young girl. I'm just acting very well now.
No, you're not.
All right, I'm lying as well. But that's what actors do.
When actors receive their awards, what do you want them to do? Just kind of,
I don't want them to receive an award, to be honest. I find the whole idea is pathetic of them standing up and receiving an award.
Look, listen. Jonathan, you're from Manchester.
Yeah.
So which are you then?
What do you mean, which am I?
Well, you either understand the question or you don't. You obviously don't like football.
Oh, sorry, United.
You're United. Okay. So, Keno goes up to get the FA Cup, because you didn't bother with the Coca-Cola, did you?
No.
Keno goes up to get the FA Cup from the Twin Towers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, why?
Just to hold it up as a salute to the fans to give them the chance to clap. It's to give people the chance to applaud, and for the cameras to film him doing it.
Now, we've got a football argument on our hands now. The whole team is talking about football. Now, my point is sound, surely, John. That when a person achieves success, there's nothing wrong with that success, particularly if it is of the highest calibre, being accorded a moment of celebration. And that is why Keno will wrap both hands around the FA Cup and raise it high into the air, and you lot will all go hooray.
But we've gone off my pet's hate. My pet's hate is actors receiving awards at award ceremonies, not other people being recognised for good work done.
Well, I'm going to bring somebody else into the conversation, John, because Paul has called from Dundee, and he's cross with you. Paul, you're on Talk Radio.
Hello.
You're through to John.
Hello, John. I'd just like to say I'm an actor from Dundee, and I've been to a few award ceremonies through college and stuff, and it is pretty much the same as you see on TV, and it is a very good occasion. It's a very nice reception to go to, and I'm sure if you had got a job that you liked, you'd be happy if someone recognised what you were doing and give you a little recognition for it, wouldn't you?
I'm not saying it's not a decent night out, and I'm not saying that you don't like recognition within your work, but the actors at the awards ceremonies, the big awards ceremonies, like the Oscars and things,
yes,
it's their friends giving them an award almost in turns.
It's not their friends, it's everyone.
They're associates who, if the actor is a big actor, they like to keep him with anyway. You can almost pick who's going to win the major awards ceremonies before the films come out. You only have to say, Susan Sarandon's starring in some big movie next year. Guarantee she's going to be up there on the awards ceremonies. You don't even have to see a performance.
Can I just say that acting isn't just about movie acting? There are all sorts of acting. And what you said earlier about acting just not being a real job, anyone can do it. I've been through 2 years of college and hoping to go on to do another 3 years of training at college. My last year at college, training as an actor, was very, very difficult.
I must admit, I said that bit being tongue-in-cheek and a bit flippant.
Right.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. And I've got to take this up with you, Paul. I mean, It's not like digging ditches, is it?
Sorry?
It's not like digging ditches, is it?
No, but it can have its days where you seem like you're doing nothing and you're getting money for nothing. But there are other days. I mean, I'm in production now in Dundee doing a show at the Ret, and this has been nothing like a cruise on a ship. It's been one of the most difficult shows I've ever had to do.
Can I let the pair of you go? Thank you, Paul, and thank you, John. Free call 0500 10 53 89. We're talking about pet hates. Actors, yes. Especially budding actors, yes. Budding actors who manage to get themselves pointed out when they're in the pub and trying to act incognito in a denim jacket, when in point of fact they are incognito anyway, because nobody knows who they are until they manage to get themselves pointed out as being budding actors. No. Free call 0500 10 53 89. Pet hates. Mick calls from Surrey. You're on Talk Radio. Mick, good afternoon.
Hi, Tommy.
Hello, Mick.
Hi, I think, that theory on the dinosaurs,
Uh-huh.
that's pretty interesting because, if you look back, and they actually spoke about them getting more intelligent and so on. I think that's actually happening to the human race at the moment, and I think, it's not very good at the moment where actually people, in general, I'm talking about all the people in the West, in the Far East and so on, they're all getting too intelligent in terms of, what they want. They're also getting very selfish.
I think you're right.
Yeah, and I think, you've got to look at points about it. I think, you're beginning to see, different nations being eradicated and totally, destroy their culture, identity, and so on. You look at, for example, like the American Indians, which is reduced to their limits, And now, I just want to talk to you about Tibetans in general, which is an issue which nobody knows about, but, they are a persecuted people,
Oh, hang on, everybody knows that.
Oh, of course, no, I don't think, I think you're wrong there, Tommy, because everybody doesn't know that,
Everybody knows that Tibet has been, pillaged by Peking. Everybody knows that, Mick.
Yeah, I think, and actually the whole world is turning their back on it. That's
no, they're not.
Oh, yes, they are.
No, they're not.
Let's look at some issues like United Nations, for instance, And you look at what the United Nations are doing at the moment, especially, in the Iraq business, where they stick their nose in what Iraq does. It's good, you've got to put the big countries at first, like, China, for example.
Well, what are people supposed to do then?
What I'm saying is basically, basically people shouldn't turn their back, I think,
Well, what do you mean
they should try and
Which way do you want people to
write
face?
to their government.
Oh, come on, Mick. If we wrote to our government about absolutely everything that we thought we needed to write to
I don't
everybody
think
thought we needed to write to our government about.
Taking action is before this work comes to an end.
Well, make your mind up. So what do you want people to do about Tibet, then?
Well, I think, for example, like Tibet, I think, people should try and write to the government.
No, you just said that wouldn't do any good.
Refugees and so on.
What should we do?
What should we do?
Yeah.
I'm saying basically, write to the government.
No, you just said that wouldn't do any good. It doesn't do any good.
Well, I mean, I think, actually at the moment, at the end of the day, especially in the West, the government is made by basically public in general. You see, public basically, they vote for the governments and so on, who they want to, the country to be run by and so on. So I think, public will listen to basically the government should listen to the public, because it's different from like Far East where something like China, it's run by dictatorship, nobody has the right to say what they want. We're talking about a quarter of the world's population there. Well, we don't see, in the West what's actually happening to the millions who are really suffering there,
Oh, right, yeah.
It's a very sad issue that actually nobody actually brings it up, and, it's just forgotten. It's just thrown away, just like the Red Indians issues,
Red Indians, yeah.
And it's very, very
Red
sad.
Indians? I thought we didn't call them Red Indians if we cared about them anymore.
Well, I mean, I think I should call them Red Indians because everybody understands when I say Red Indians.
No, they don't.
The majority of the people do. The American Indians,
No. People who listen to talk radio know that there are not Red Indians. They never were Red Indians.
It's not just the people who listen to the talk radio.
People who listen to talk radio know that the Red Indians, are now known as Native Americans.
I'm really glad to say
they are neither red nor are they Indians.
What are they?
They're Native Americans.
Are they?
Yes.
Native Americans?
Yes.
Well, it's sad to see, what's actually happened to them, isn't it, Tommy?
Why?
Why?
Yeah, why?
You mean to tell me you don't know why?
No, I'm asking you why.
I think that's very sad,
Well, it's very sad that you go around giving them cartoon names like Red Indians.
Do you actually know what's actually happened in Tibet?
Yes, of course, I do know what's happened in Tibet.
Do you know what's actually happening in Tibet? Yeah?
I know precisely what's happening at this very moment in Tibet, yes.
You do, at this very moment.
At this moment now
Can you
in
tell me what's actually happening in Tibet?
Well, some people driving around. There's
Well, some people driving. No, I don't think so, Tommy. You see, that's the thing. You see, in the West, we don't see what's happening in there.
Well, how do you know what's happening there?
I know what's happening there because I've got contacts all over, in Tibet. And, I get, fresh information,
Fresh
different
information?
people in Tibet, yeah.
So what's happening at the moment in Tibet, then?
Oh, very, very bad things, you see.
What?
This few demonstration a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
It was turned down last month. About 47 people were executed. Did you know about that?
Look, Tibet is Chinese, Mick.
No, it's not, Tommy. That's the mistake that everybody's making.
No, sir, it is historically Chinese.
The language is different.
And the only
Are you basically saying that basically the Koreans are Chinese?
No,
the
I'm
Japanese
saying
are
that
Chinese?
Tibet
the
is
Thais
Chinese.
Are Chinese?
If you
Because
study
they're Oriental?
if you bother to study the history of it, and we've had this argument.
What about Mongolia? What would you say about Mongolia?
Look,
are they
Mick,
Chinese?
you droned on for a long time. Can I just make a point?
Sorry, Tommy, are the Mongolians Chinese first?
No, obviously I can't on my own.
Oh, why is that then?
Why is what now?
Mongolia
I'm
is
not
run
talking
by
about
China at the moment.
Mongolia. I'm talking about Tibet. I'm not talking about Mongolia.
Well, it's at the moment, it's under China.
What are you talking about Guildford. We're talking about Tibet.
That's right, yeah.
Tibet. Just Tibet, all right?
Yeah.
Tibet, next to Nepal. One down from Bhutan, all right? Tibet.
One down from Bhutan, did you say?
Yes.
Up.
No, one across. Not up at all.
One
no,
across.
Up about it.
Tibet is up from Bhutan.
No, it isn't.
It is.
It is
up
not.
From Nepal.
Tibet is
up
west
from
of
India.
Bhutan.
It's below Russia. I don't think, Tommy,
I don't think you know your geography. Do you know the Brahmaputra Valley?
Of course I know the Brahmaputra Valley.
Have you been?
No, I haven't been there, but I know about it.
Well, I have.
You've been there?
Yes.
That's good.
I know.
That's good.
What would you like to know about what they're doing in Brahmaputra Valley at the moment?
What are they doing?
Growing tea.
Really?
Yes. That's what they do there.
No, exactly. See, I think you're basically saying this because, things like Tibet...
because people like you... People like you... No, I want to say, people like you are a pet hate of an awful lot of people.
Tommy, what I want to say is,
No, I want you to say that. I want you...
I think you're basically saying that Tibet is basically technically part of China.
You should wonder...
You've got a lot to learn, You really have a lot to learn.
You have.
The script is different. The language is different. The culture is different. Tibet has got more intact, more contact.
But that's because China is a multicultural society.
Oh, yeah. Why isn't that? So basically, that's not true, that. I mean, it's basically said that, but even the British, you see, yes. In 1904, they invaded Tibet. Colonel Sir's husband, Francis' young husband.
Yes, we all know that.
No, that's thing. Nobody knows that.
No, you mean nobody knows that. Everybody knows that. Where are you from?
That's independent then.
Where are you from?
They recognize that Tibet was independent. I'm from India. But
Right, well, don't you come over here and tell British people that they don't know things that Britain did, because that's one thing we do know.
Really?
Yes.
No, I don't think you do know that at all, because that's a lot of British people.
Why did Britain invade Tibet?
Why did they? You tell me.
No, you tell me.
Why did they invade India?
I know,
Why
but
did they invade Tibet?
you tell me.
But I don't think that actually nobody
you tell me what. You tell me.
You really don't know, you know?
No, you tell me. Because if you can't, I'll tell you.
Why did they invade Tibet?
Yes.
They wanted to trade with Tibet?
No.
Why?
Do you not know?
Why? What are you going to tell me, Tommy?
Well, do you know or don't you know?
Well, basically, my guess is that, you know... And
I'm not interested in guessing.
What I've read is that, you know, they wanted to trade with Tibet and so on.
This isn't a golden shot, mate.
But the funny
you
thing
don't
is,
get blindfolded and aim at the wall.
You know what? Something else.
Yes.
At that time, you know, about 800 Tibetans were killed as well. You didn't know that as well, did you?
Yes.
You did know?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
I'm happy, Tommy, that you really know that.
You are.
But a lot of people don't. And the people who listen to on the talk radio, a lot of them don't.
No, Mick, you're wrong. We know more than you do, all of us. Everybody listening knows a lot more about Tibet than you do.
Before I stop this conversation?
No, you're not going to stop this conversation. I'm the one who stops these conversations. No, I want you to ask me why Britain invaded Tibet.
Sorry?
I want you to ask me why Britain invaded Tibet, because you don't know. But you're not interested in anything you don't know.
You said Britain invaded Tibet.
Yes.
You said Britain invaded Tibet.
Yes.
So basically, then they invaded China as well, didn't they?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, of course.
You're basically saying Tibet is part of China. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I did 10 minutes ago say exactly that.
Well, I think you're very wrong, Tommy. You know what? And I'm sick of basically talking to people like you, you know, because there are a few of you out
people
there,
who know more
who
than
really
you do.
think that Tibet is part of China.
Well, it was part of China.
Tibet is independent.
It was part of China for 3,000 years.
Independent. Okay?
No.
Tibet is an independent country, and you make a big mistake. You are making a big
Which part of
mistake.
India are you? Which part of India are you from?
Thinks, you know, you got to know what they did during the, you know, invasion of Tibet and so on.
Don't
I think
like
you watch
China.
the film 7 years in Tibet. Everybody else was listening on talk radio.
Who's in that?
7 years in Tibet.
Who's in it?
To see the film. Brad Pitt is in the film. It's coming out 21st.
Well, I know that sums you up, doesn't it, Mick? You get your
They will really know the story behind
current
it,
affairs.
How basically the Chinese Communist government, the regime entered Tibet.
From a Brad Pitt movie.
1/6 of the entire population.
From a Brad Pitt movie.
And you're saying that we're part of that. No, you know.
And you get your intelligence and your education from Brad Pitt movies.
No. That's not talking about education. See,
what about going and watching a Bruce Lee picture, and then you'll know all about China, won't you?
Sorry?
And what about going and watching a Bruce Lee movie, and then you'll know all about China, won't you?
I've seen all of it, Tommy. You don't
I'll bet you have, too. I'll bet you have.
Tell me about it. Sometimes I wish that I'm as good as Bruce Lee so I can go...
No, I'm sorry, we had to lose him there because he lost his argument, and intellectual credentials. Free call 0500 10 53 89. That's only the second time I've ever had to lose somebody in full flow because they couldn't quite hang on to the Queen's English. Never mind. Mick, thank you for your call. And it was nice of you to come and raise the temperature. We're talking about pet hates. I'm Tommy Boyd. This is Talk Radio. There's a good argument for listening. 0500 10 53 89. What's your pet hate? Brenda calls from Essex. You're on Talk Radio. Hello, Brenda.
Good afternoon. Well, my pet hate is the people who won't share gossip. They sit on it. They hold on to it. You get it when you get two or more presenters on radio stations, and they've got all these in-jokes that they'll laugh about, and they'll tell each other little snippets, and they'll say, "Oh, I can't talk about that on air. I'll let you know it. I'll tell you when I'm off air." And that is infuriating.
Isn't that annoying? They've got an agenda here, by the way.
Well,
yes, you have. Of course.
Yes, I'll just tell you, Zoe Ball and Kevin Greening in the mornings, they are the worst two that do it. And I'm always talking about some pop star or other that, you know they know a lot more. They go to these parties that are privy to lots of inside information. Which amounts to nothing. Well, that's not the point, though, is it? Gossip is something that you want to be in.
Oh, you're interested in it, are you?
I'm afraid so, yes.
Are you really honestly interested in such trivia as that?
Well, now listen, if you wanted worthy, subjects and, heavy things like Nick had...
No, mate.
I'll go down that street.
No, I'm sorry, this is Talk Radio. There is a good argument for listening, You can't just come on with a naked opinion and expect to skip through the troops without a wolf whistle.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm really killing this metaphor, which didn't work in the first place. But anyway, it's a good thought for me. Yeah, what are you doing anyway, listening to children's radio?
But in the mornings?
Yes. Children's radio, that is.
It's
That's aimed at the under 14s.
Yes, but I have to get up and get on, and I work in the morning, and I've got to get buses and everything, so it's, or bikes, whatever it is. But I just find that that's my pet hate.
Is it?
That, and when you have Ash in the studio, that also annoys me because I feel that we're not getting your entire attention.
That's because Ash is probably the most complete human being I've ever met.
Oh, he's lovely. I'm not saying...
I enjoyed...
What do you mean? You don't like it? You don't like me?
Well, when Tommy started on this show, he just was in the studio on his own. Yeah. And one day I was sitting here and I had stereo on and I suddenly heard another voice out of the ether. And I thought, that's not Tommy.
It's me.
It was you. Yeah.
I asked him. He knows things that you don't know and I don't know. So what are we supposed to do then? Censor him?
No, of course not.
This man knows a lot. He knows a great many things about important things. And more important than that, he knows a great many things about unimportant things, don't you, Ash?
Yeah, I know a hell of a lot about
But he was never introduced to the public, was he? When you started...
Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce to you in a grey T-shirt and a pretty unkempt goatee beard and a haircut that would... okay. Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce to you, as an occasional permanent voice on the Tommy Boyds show, in a grey T-shirt, a goatee beard, and a disciple-like haircut, Ash.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I think what I'm saying, Tom, is that I like single presenters.
What's wrong with a
I like single presenters. I don't like to have two or more presenters. Yeah, because they become a little cliquey, they forget there's an audience out here that's listening to them.
Well, what about, but then I would just talk alone, and I wouldn't be talking to you now, Brenda, because this conversation between you and me is now cliquey.
But it's listener friendly, let's put it that way, whereas same with these other two in the studios in the morning, Carol and Paul, I mean, they're just as cliquey as well. They have these in-jokes.
Yes.
And they know it all. They go to all these, showbiz. I suppose I'm just jealous that I don't get invited to them.
Oh, listen, I've been to them. Don't be jealous. The champagne is warm, and you usually have to share a taxi home.
I wouldn't mind sharing a taxi with
it's not as much fun as you might think. I can assure you that, Brenda.
But that's what it is. I think it's very. You feel as though you're not privy to anything that goes on, and they'll just throw you a few crumbs just to keep you interested, and then they'll go off and. That's it.
Well, sometimes there are things, that I know that I wouldn't want the public to know, and you wouldn't want me to tell you, would you?
Well, I don't know, but I don't suppose you'd, chivvies along and just throw a few little crumbs.
No. I think that is cruel, isn't it?
Yeah, that's like
putting a cup of water just out of reach of a prisoner, isn't it?
My second pet hate are these worthies that come on. Yes. When you were having that last topic, and you had to get people to come on with, that they knew all the medical significance of everything.
Yes.
And the chap that came on to tell you about firemen and about, I had heard that about the baby on board. Yeah. But they just need, they want to be do-gooders. Yes. And, show themselves in a slightly superior light to you.
I know. I think we should, if we do a bit of good, then we should do a bit of bad as well. To make up for it and compensate.
I'm sorry for being trivial.
No, you're not trivial. I'll tell you what's trivial, Brenda.
Yeah.
The fact that what you have said isn't trivial. Because you know where the word trivial comes from?
I first heard it on Trivial Pursuit, so I'm not a dictionary woman.
Well, there is actually a concrete concept which is trivia. And it's not what you've been talking about.
That's too highbrow.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to tell Ash what it is when we come off air. Yeah. Free call 0500 10 53 89. Mark calls from Coventry. We're kicking pet hates around, Mark.
Good afternoon, Tommy. My pet hate is people who use disabled parking spaces who are not disabled. I've found since I've been disabled that a lot of people either they don't display the stickers, and if I find that there's no spaces at all for me and I have to go right to the top story of the car park, I'll actually park straight behind them and get a taxi back home for a couple of hours and then come back and pick my car up.
Is that what you do?
Yes, I've done it once.
But you don't know that the people in that space aren't disabled.
Well, it does say on your car that you've got to display your disabled stickers in the front of your window.
I know, but you could be taking a risk because it could be somebody who's just lost their card.
Well, there is that point to it, yes, but it just makes me so angry with me being immobile as to actually find at least 50% of the cars haven't got the disabled stickers on. I find in Coventry, especially on the one car park. As you know, it's normally on the lower floor. And normally I end up having to go up to 4 floors on the top, and then I'm difficulty coming down the stairs and whatever.
Yes, I can see the problem.
You know, it's just one of my pet hates, which
well,
I didn't actually realise.
It's very inconvenient for you. And if I was you, and I was honest with myself, I'd quite enjoy causing those people inconvenience.
Well, I did, Tommy, because when I came back, there was this man ranting and raving, and I did say to him, I says, well, are you disabled? And he said, no. He said, I wanted to park here. He said, because I just wanted to do some quick shopping, but his shopping took him 3 hours eventually because I didn't come back for 3 hours. I took a taxi back home and then got a taxi back down again.
Well, I'd be with you on that. I mean, it's quite nice, isn't it? When you're
a bit of justification.
When you're justified, doing something that's almost illegal is delicious, isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, you enjoyed it, didn't you?
I did enjoy it, Tommy, very much so.
Good
I enjoyed the argument.
I would have enjoyed
it.
Oh, yeah. You know, there's nothing better, is there, than when you're having an argument and you're completely right.
Yes, I was.
And there's something honourable about your argument.
Right in everything, I'll admit to that, but I was...
Do you know what I'd do, though, if I was you? I'd go around looking now for people who've not got their stickers on.
That's right. I do.
You do that? You do, don't you? Yeah, you do.
You do, I do now. And I think, I parked there or not. I did it once, and I did feel a bit guilty about it, to tell you the truth. But afterwards, I was so elated when I went home.
Yeah.
Afterwards, and I never did do my shopping that day anyway. Yeah. But I was more satisfied with what I did that day.
Yeah, because you messed somebody's day up.
That's right,
You deserved it.
Okay, cheers, Tommy.
Fantastic. All right.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, he was open, wasn't he? Wasn't he honest and open? I like that, don't you? Because we might think to ourselves, oh, no, you shouldn't be like that. But you are. We are like that. What triumph. Self-righteous indignation. Fantastic. Free call 0500 10 53 89. It's Pet Hates. I'm Tommy Boyd. It's Talk Radio. Peter Dealey's Drive Time from calls from Leicestershire. You're on Talk Radio. Tony, hello.
Hello there. Your pet hate, I believe, or one of them, dinosaurs. I think I heard you say earlier on that it was one of your pet hates.
Well, theories about why the dinosaurs died out. I've just had enough of them.
The most feasible and ward-holding one that I've heard to date is regarding a dust cloud caused by whatever means, either solar debris hitting the Earth or whatever. If you run a parallel with modern-day dinosaurs, examples, the crocodiles, turtles and so forth, their incubation temperature for their eggs is critical. I don't know the exact temperatures, but 1 degree above or below the critical temperature, and the offspring are all the same sex. Consequently, if the sun was blotted out, causing the temperature of the Earth to drop, all dinosaur eggs would be born the same sex, regardless of whether one species is all female and another species was all male. Irrelevant. They just eventually died out because they couldn't reproduce. And that, I think, is the most ward-holding theory I've heard to date.
But the whole point of this is that I hate theories about why the dinosaurs died out, man.
I know. It's your pet hate, not mine. You didn't say it got to be my pet hate, but basically,
what's your pet hate then?
That wouldn't be a pet hate anymore.
Well, what is my pet? What's your pet hate then?
Personally, I haven't got any. I don't let things get to me that much that they become hate.
Oh, yes, you do.
Not really.
We all do.
The only thing that I might say gets to me is taking somebody for a ride, getting something out of somebody for nothing. I'm a bit mercenary in that respect, but
you do
that's
that, do you?
Pet hate.
You do that, do you?
I do what?
I'm not quite with you. You take people for a ride.
No, I hate people taking others for a ride.
Well, that's not mercenary, is it?
No, I'm mercenary.
Why are you mercenary?
I won't do anything. I'll help people.
Oh.
But I won't do anything for nothing as far as work-wise goes.
You won't just help people out for the humanity of it?
Yes, I'll do that. I'm talking about if you're in, we'll say, a working environment and somebody seems to think that, we'll get him to do this, we'll get him to do that, pay minimum wages, this, that or the other. Not just me personally, to anybody. I think that's my pet hate, when people say, well, we've got him by the aniseeds, he's got no choice, financially, he'll either take it or he won't. And if there's too many unscrupulous people are, taking advantage of other people in a predicament that they can't help being in.
Tony, I'm
you
sure...
get people working for these stupid wages because they've got no options. That's my only pet hate. I don't do it, but I hate it being done to people.
Tony, thank you for your call. Free call 0500 10 53 89. David's on the line from London. You're on Talk Radio. David.
Hi. My greatest pet hate is political correctness.
Oh, yeah.
Not all of it. There are some aspects of it which I agree with, but I just feel that there's a lot of media manipulation to make us think along the lines of what they deem, I don't know who they are, what they deem to be politically correct. I mean, it's upset a lot of people, but for instance, I think homosexuality is wrong. I think the man is the head of the house. These are not things that, cause me to react badly to people who don't believe with me, but the other thing that I've noticed, which I find very irritating, is the intolerance that these groups have towards those who don't agree with them. We've often been cited as being intolerant if we don't believe in the things that are politically correct, but I find that it's the people on the other side of the fence that are greatly intolerant, and often who push it on your face. It's I find this an ever-growing problem. There are very subtle undertones in programs like EastEnders where you see these things being portrayed. And it's just to say, I'm not scared to speak my point. And a lot of people I know agree with some of the things that I agree with, but they're too scared to speak out because they're scared of this political correctness. And I'm afraid it's a great pet hate of mine.
David, I beg your pardon. Thank you for your call and contribution. Mark is next in Basingstoke. You're on Talk Radio, Mark. Pet
Hello,
hates?
Tommy.
Sir.
I've got 2 pet hates, actually. Not as interesting as the other ones that have been on. But one is flu, a flu virus, because I've got flu at the moment, and that's a real pet hate of mine.
Yeah.
And the other one, which is just as interesting, really, but is people that drive on the motorways with their fog lights on when there's no need.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what I don't like as well, motorcyclists who drive with their beam on.
Oh.
And they come up behind you, and you can't look in your mirror until they've gone past.
Yeah, and then if you talk to a motorcyclist, they say, it's law.
All day long. They do.
They tell you it's law.
And in the fog, people in white cars who don't put their lights on at all, because they think that because they've got a white car, you can see them.
I know.
I know. Lights,
Yeah, it sucks.
Eh?
It sucks.
Yeah. And what else?
Any cures for a flu, Tommy?
Flu?
Yeah.
I quite like flu.
You like it?
I quite like flu.
Oh, I think I've heard you say this before, actually.
Because with flu, you could definitely go home.
Yeah.
And you get about 4 days, and you can't do anything except lie in bed.
Well, that's unless you work for your brother, you see.
How is he?
Oh, tyrant.
Is he? What does he do?
Oh, well, you know, I've got to be dying before I can.
No, but I mean, what are you in, the pair of you?
Oh, right, sorry, construction.
And he's the boss?
He is the boss. Well, I mean, we're supposed to be on a par, but, you know.
Yeah.
He's older than me, so.
Yeah. When you say construction, you mean you're a builder?
No, it's not.
Oh,
we're subcontractors.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. Yes.
Rather than, I have been known to get my hands dirty. But...
You have, yes.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time, in fact, you're in a suit and a hard hat.
Well...
Because we don't like you when you come on the site, you know.
No, I know.
In your suit and your hard hat.
But I'm not too bad because I've been out there myself. I've done all that.
Yes, yes.
So, you know, I've seen both sides.
All right, Mark, get well soon.
Thanks, Tommy.
Ray calls from London. You're on Talk Radio. Ray, good afternoon.
Sorry, good afternoon. Pet hates. Actually, people who don't put their fog lights on when it's foggy, actually, that annoys me.
The only time they don't put them on.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
The main pet hate is hot air hand dryers.
Hopeless, aren't they?
Oh, dear, dear. Especially in motorway service stations.
Yeah.
And I'll wash my face as well and sort of wake myself up and things, you know. You try and direct on your face, it blows you all over the place. Life's too short to use them, actually. That's the main thing.
Isn't it?
Isn't it? And the other thing, sorry.
No, you don't want to hang around in that little room, do you? You want to get out.
Yeah, especially in the mornings when everybody's having their morning constitution, isn't it?
Absolutely.
The other one is when somebody invites you to dinner, and they sit you down at the table and you start talking, they said, oh, well, of course, in this house we never discuss sex, religion or politics. But there's something else to talk about, isn't there?
There isn't.
And that really is a pet hate.
Do you know, I've got a theory. People want 3 things.
Yeah.
Good sex.
Yeah.
Good food.
Yeah.
And a good laugh.
Yep. And good laugh is often religion and politics, isn't it?
Exactly my point. So it's good sex, actually. But, I mean, you know.
Well, what's that? Oh, I can't remember. I haven't had any since...
No. Come on. No, Oh, well done.
What else? Let me think.
I hate people who put around this rumour about peanuts in on pub bars.
What?
That you shouldn't eat the peanuts that they put out bowls of in decent bars.
Yeah, they don't do it much now, do they?
Sorry?
They've stopped that a lot, haven't they? They used to do it ever so much.
No, but somebody pointed out that it was unhygienic because the back of somebody else's knuckles had touched peanuts, which, yes.
Yeah, makes them nice.
But no, then you think about it, and once you've thought about it, you don't do it.
Don't eat them, they don't spend the money, that's right, yeah. I think the other thing, actually, which annoys me a bit, and it's a bit controversial, is that counselling is a cure-all for everything.
Counselling?
Yeah.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, isn't it?
Well, allegedly.
Everybody gets counselled. And the terrible thing is I happen to know, 2 or 3, or know of 2 or 3 people who are now qualified counsellors. Oh, my God. It's a thought.
Most people I've found who are led into trying to help other people with their problems only get into that position because they themselves have had to pursue some problems that they themselves have got.
Yeah.
And you and I know that counselling alone doesn't really eradicate anything, does it?
Doesn't do anything at all, actually.
Well, no, it doesn't do anything at all. It's interesting to talk about it.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean,
it's interesting.
I've experienced it once, and it was the biggest laugh I've ever known,
Well, you're being for counselling?
Well, relationship I had once, and somebody suggested to her that we ought to go for counselling.
Yeah.
So she picked us up, and we went along, and both of us, collapsed in laughter at the end of it. And so we went out and had a few drinks, and it was tremendous afterwards, It was just, we said to this, well, what do you think? She said, well, no, I'm here to listen to you. I said, well, I've just told you what we think. Now, what do you think?
I ploughed through a lot of Freud when I was a student, only to discover that Freud believed that once you knew why you were mixed up, then you were okay. And you and I know that's not true. 9 times out of 10, once you know why you're mixed up, surely you're even more mixed up. Ray, I've got to let you go because I've got to squeeze Linda in from Swansea. Linda, you're on Talk Radio. Pet hates.
Oh, hello. I'm still laughing about 3 callers ago about that Chinese guy, whatever he was. You've had about 10 minutes. My basically is people who sound like Australians, which I seem to get everywhere these days for the last couple of years. Goes up at the end, the intonation goes up at the end of a sentence. Don't ask me to do it. It just goes up at the end. The last word goes up at the end like a question mark.
It does? you know who they've got that in common with? Geordies.
Geordies?
Geordies go up at the end of the sentence.
Oh, not quite the same as everybody does these days.
No, Geordies even worse.
Yeah, but it is a massive question mark. The other one is...
Oh, we're running out of time. Call again. Free call 0500 10 53 89.
Don't forget to subscribe and like. Comment too if you wish. Even slap your legs and make a purchase from Ann Summers. But don't do nothing.